You are now tuned in to The Gifted Gab.
How has basketball or the sport of that helped you today in what you're doing now? Because obviously you're a man of many talents, acting, you know, you're a writer.
Yeah.
You're an artist as well too. So
Yeah.
how would you say that transition for you is?
You know what? I think it gave me the competitive edge that I think that's the number one thing. Like, it gave me that drive to always want to do better for myself and like see the improvements. So when that translates to even me started out with acting, like, okay, who's the best actor? You know, you might think of Denzel, right? Then you see, you learn about their story and what they did, and obviously you do things from within yourself, but like, you're like, okay, so you could get to this certain level, right? There's steps, there's ways to actually achieve that, you know what I mean? Denzel wasn't just Denzel because he is who he is. He had to do the groundwork, right? He had to, like, he did theater, he he found his path through school, and then just kind of, you know, understand, and also going through adversity as well, which is what we go through sports. So like those things kind of just tied in. I already knew what adversity was. I knew that things aren't gonna go smooth. I knew I'm not gonna be Denzel off the rip, like,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I had to start somewhere. So I think that competitive edge just drove me to like being the best person, the best I can be in whatever given thing it is.
And you knew what failure, you experienced failure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because as a Monarch, you know, I know we had some losses a couple times.
You did.
It's all good though. So you guys had a squad still. You had a squad.
Gotta bring that up, huh?
Yeah, I'm joking. I had to throw that in there. I'm joking. But yeah, no, I like what you said there, bro. I think it's real. Adversity teaches us a lot.
Yeah.
Especially within the acting world. I think for me stepping in it as well too. It felt like a whole nother realm, like a whole nother arena just to discover, to explore, and that's a big thing about what acting is that I've learned is exploration, right? Never setting in stone exactly what you're gonna do, and I think that translates back and forth between basketball and acting is because in basketball, you never want to predetermine what you're gonna do. You never want to go to a defender and say, "Oh, I'm gonna make the crossover here, step there, step back, shoot," because defender cuts you off. What are you gonna do then?
Yeah.
With acting, I've learned the same thing where you never want to predetermine your moves. So on your journey right now, as well as an actor, what have you learned thus far? And yeah, what have you learned thus far with it?
Well, just to begin with, like, while I was playing basketball, like, acting wasn't a thing that I was even thinking about at the time, right? So like stepping into this space, it was brand new. It was a humbling experience because like not knowing that this is something that I want to carry out in my life is something that kind of came to me. To begin with, like I knew I had the sort of personality for it, and like it's something that was like in the back of my mind, like, yo, I would probably work on screen, like I could enjoy this sort of stuff, right? But then actually diving into the real world, getting an agency and like seeing the business side of the world, I knew that it was going to be a struggle, especially being a black actor, right? Like in the time that it was, because this was like 2017, where I kind of stepped into that space, and I knew that there's already challenges I was gonna face, like, right? Of course, yeah. So I was prepared for hella no's. I was prepared to like have other people be like, no, he's not the right fit, or he's not gonna work. You know what I mean? So I guess it showed me to like just really improve on myself and show an industry that's out there that they don't know something. You know what I mean? And like, because in a place where they might feel like we know how this thing works, it's like, nah, you're missing something. You know what I mean? You're missing that there's a different character. There's probably a black boy that you haven't seen step into a vulnerable sort of space like that, right? And that it kind of like pushed me to be vulnerable and like accept that and like just show another side, because there's a lot of sides to me, you know, and like, and just people in general and faces that aren't seen on screen. So
yeah, I want to talk more about that vulnerability aspect because as men, particularly black men, we're always taught to, never really show emotions. You can't wear your heart on your sleeve. If something's wrong, keep it here. That's what society teaches us, really. And for us, really, but you obviously having more experience. How was that challenge to be vulnerable with in a industry that requires vulnerability? How did you find that for yourself?
Challenging, for sure. Challenging, because you're stepping into new ground. You're stepping into places where it's like you might feel like they're laughing at you, like, we know you're not the person for this, right? Like, what are you doing here, sort of thing, right? But then it's proving that you're actually worthy and proving that there's another space. But man, I think vulnerability, it goes a long way, and it teaches you, or the actual act of being vulnerable, like, grows you as a person. You know what I mean? To have conversations, open yourself up in ways that you don't. It actually grows your mind.
Exactly
It grows who you are in any given space. Cause, and you know what the funny thing is? Like, playing ball, like, we probably evoke the most emotion, like, as basketball players, right?
For sure, yeah.
Right. So it's like that. That's a whole scene right there. 100%. If you really break it down.
I think you can't excel in basketball if you don't show emotion, bro.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times, unless you're
conceal it even, right?
Conceal it,
learn how to play that sort of game, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think some of my best moments as a former hooper were when I was locked in, but emotionally I was here. Like, I was showing it, and I was showing it in a controlled manner. I wasn't just off the rails, mad, sad here. Like, I was showing it, but I was in a controlled manner. I was never concealing things. So I like that you said that, because vulnerability, you also mentioned it requires connections.
Yeah.
A lot of times with people in society, people are afraid to connect, bro.
Yeah.
Making eye contact, having dialogue, and really understanding someone is a challenge for a lot of people. One of my professors at Humber, my Humber acting program, told me, basically, go to your Starbucks, look at the cashier, and look them in their eye, and ask them, like, hey, how's your day going? What's new? Can I get this coffee? Da, da, da. Their first reaction will likely be to look down at the register or to look away from you. It'll never be in your eyes, because there's a sense of awkwardness that often comes around, but I think there's value in that awkward space. But I think that's what all connection really is, right? Did you find that kind of natural for you to connect with other people in this industry?
You know what? I think there was a foundation of knowing that there's a lack of that amongst people. So I think I always saw that as a strength, right? So it made sense to, like, step into this space where I'm, like, not necessarily afraid to look somebody in their eye and, like, show myself. I think my family definitely, you know what I mean, a family upbringing helps with that, like having that sort of confidence, because that's what it is as well, right?
Confidence, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
So
completely.
Like, being the cards were kind of laid out for me to level up on the strength, right?
So you didn't feel like there were any hurdles when it came, not any hurdles, but like major hurdles when it comes to like making eye contact or connecting with others, type of thing?
I mean, I guess everyone goes through that thing, right? Yeah. So
it makes sense.
It's not like I got it down pat, but like, why not connect with a person, right? Like, why not give your full attention to somebody, right? Because I don't know if you, like, you probably feel it, like anybody probably feels it when you're not connected with somebody. There's probably more awkward, but you're just avoiding it. You're avoiding the awkwardness that's more awkward.
Bro, that small talk is the worst, bro. I'm not a fan of that either, but like, it's just like, damn, we both know this is my last time seeing you. It's your last time seeing me. Let's cut it at that. But like, that awkward connection is just, it's not it.
Yeah.
It's not it, So
a little off. You'll feel better if you connect with a person.
For sure, bro.
It's
for
a
sure.
real thing.
Those first 2-3 seconds are tough, but once you get past it, it's like, yo, this person is exactly like me.
Yeah.
We both tie our shoes the same way. We both have or experience anxiety or have our issues. Everyone suffers issues, right?
For sure.
And one thing that you're big on that you told me was storytelling. Storytelling for me here at the Gifted Gab, Actually the main reason why we started this platform was to storytell, to create a space, a shared space where people can come on, share their experiences, hand out game, and talk about things that other people could relate to. Because I find now we're in a time where everything is extremely divisive. Things are either left or right, and there's no type of connection. Exactly what we're talking about. So I like how you pointed that out about storytelling, and I want to ask, what does that mean to you in terms of what you're doing right now?
Man, okay, well, I'm learning a lot about, I'm still like in that learning, of course, in that learning stage, but what I'm realizing is that storytelling, first off, it's always been a thing that's been here, right? It's like part of the progression for like every civilization that's been here. So I think there's a lot of importance in storytelling. Now, storytelling can be done in a whole lot of different ways. It could be bad storytelling. It could be like scary story, right? There's all sorts of ways. But I think it's key to understand story, like you know what I mean. And I never went to school for this, but it's a lot of reading books and getting a grasp on what it actually is. But to understand the essence of what story is and how you can engage with somebody in an effective way, good storytelling matters. You know what I mean? So it's like you could tell a story, keep someone locked in, like they can learn something from that and take that with them. So just that importance of what the power of storytelling is something that I've been like just consuming and taking in, and it's something that acting has really taught me as well, right? Like it started with that. It started with like understanding the character breakdown of a person, right? And then that's where the vulnerability is as well, because like it could be a character that I don't like I'm not like this person, right? That I'm reading on the script, but you find a place to step into their shoes and then love, like as odd as it is, like love that person like it's you, right? And that's really what the art of acting is too. And then that's just a piece of the storytelling.
Yeah.
So
I love that. I think acting isn't acting. Acting is being. Like you literally are that character.
Yeah.
I've learned a couple techniques in terms of like getting into a character's role, but what are some that you have? Because you just mentioned that there's times where you see a character, you're like, bro, I am nothing like this person. So when instances are like that, what's the first thought that comes to your mind, and how do you follow up on that?
First thought is it's understanding in the story itself what's happening, right? You know the other characters that you're interacting with. I feel like some of this stuff is kind of it is a strength that you have to build, but it's kind of like we deal with people all the time, right?
Exactly.
Everybody comes from a different sort of place, so it's not like it's something new to us. So then when you look at this character that's interacting with somebody else, you're like, okay, where are they coming from? And yeah, there's been really, it's like teachers that have broke down this for me on what that character breakdown is. But when you like crack every single line, and in a good stories especially, you crack every line, there ultimately should be importance to what the line is given.
For sure.
Right? And then, there's an objective, exactly, objective to everything that's happening. Yeah. And then you want to step away from the acting in human connection, human interaction. There's an objective with everything. Yeah. So it's like,
it's life, man.
Yeah, for real. Though.
It's life, but it's also psychology too.
Yeah.
Like acting, I think, is a study of psychology, knowing how people operate, knowing how people work.
For sure.
If you do something, how are they gonna react? So this is amazing. But you have experience working with Netflix. How was that? That's big, bro. Congrats on that. I didn't even tell you that, but congrats on that. How's that experience? You've been on several shows there. So.
Yeah. Couple shows on Netflix. It was good. I guess the first one was my time at Suits, so crazy. Yeah. Bruh, I was at school, right? I was at school at Carleton University. I'll do a quick little backtrack. Summertime before I went to Carleton, because I took a year off just to finalize what I'm gonna get into. Decided I was gonna go to Carleton. In the summertime is when I met an actress. I don't know if you're familiar with Asha Brownfield. Okay,
shout out to her. Yeah.
Shout out Asha. She's a huge part.
CW series.
Yeah, Riverdale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know her at the time. I was actually and the funny thing is I was at Karina Evans' house for like a summer. Yeah, so
Yeah.
she's doing her thing now too, right? But shout out Karina. And yeah, so I started talking with Asha. She told me I've never really met actors or actresses, first of all, right? I didn't even know how to step into the space. So I'm talking with her. She's telling me she's an actress. I'm like, yo, how can I be involved in this? Like, this is a real thing. So it's through connections with her is how I ended up getting an agent. It's when I made the decision when I was at Carleton in the first semester. But just before like Christmas time, I said I'm out of here. Like I'm going to talk to them. I had set up some meetings, talk with my agent, and I made that decision. And I was like committed to the grind because I knew it was going to be something I'd enjoy.
Yeah.
And then I'll bring it back to the Suits. When I was at school, I was watching Suits religiously, bro. Like it was crazy. Like it was one of my favorite
Classic.
shows.
Yeah, it's a classic.
And then yeah, man. So like when I was back home, ended up doing an audition. Went through that process. I felt great about that audition. Got the booking. It was, bruh. I didn't cry, but like, bruh,
You had
whatever.
some type of like
You know what I'm saying?
reassurance,
This was God's doing in some sort of way. It felt like, right? But the experience was wild, man. And I had actually Patrick J. Adams, who's Mike on the show, who's the director, and his first time directing on the show. So it was cool because it was like a first for him, and like it was a first for me. So it gave me a little bit of ease, and like also like, okay, how are you gonna handle this, right?
Yeah.
But it was a great opportunity. I loved every moment. He was a good guy too, and it was just the beginning, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I think I held it down best I could, and just like tried to, even just being on set, I knew I was like one of the few, I was the only black person really on set. So there's a certain responsibility with that I felt that I took on, and it was just to present myself right and like be in this space and like show up, right?
Yeah.
Because I know the barriers are breaking right now. So that also was motivating to like, you know what I mean? Hold it down for...
You were part of that shift.
Exactly.
You're part of the shift of diversification, I guess you could say, breaking down barriers. And I think that's important, but to bring it back to Suits, that's a great first start, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
shocking.
that's like having 30 in your first game of the season. Like this is something you could work off and build off of. And so you start another shows, Grand Army as well too.
Grand Army was cool. They like shut down a street for me and my
Was this is the city? Where was this?
It was in the city. It was in
like
Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know there's productions every like Hamilton, Brampton.
Yeah, I think they shot that between Brooklyn and Toronto.
That's crazy.
A lot of things are being shot in Toronto, which is like huge right now for the position that you know,
it's promising. Yeah,
we're in, right? So that was cool. Like Latoya was on that. Latoya, I think she Instagram Latoya Cleopatra. I'm just giving her a shout out, whatever. But yeah, we were holding that down. She's a black woman as well, so it was fun to actually. That was like my first time working with another black person, which was good. So we had like good conversation and had a good connection there. And that was fun too. You know what I mean? It was a smaller role, but it was an enjoyable time. And yeah, man, every time it's like you take something with you that you can bring on set.
What are some of your biggest, not your biggest, but the biggest challenges on set that you had to deal with or overcome?
Yo, Grand Army, they tried to dress me up, right?
Yeah.
It was wardrobe. There's already a problem with wardrobe in some sort of way. And so they had to fit. I already did a fitting before, right? That was the problem, but then my stuff wasn't there. So when I went to wardrobe, there's this person who was trying to dress me.
Yeah.
But I was feeling like there was a lack of interest in me, and like it was like
all about them.
I felt like stereotypical, like with how he was trying to dress me. You know what I mean? My role wasn't to be like a hood man or anything like that.
Yeah.
But the way he was trying to like, the interaction was not cool. I didn't feel comfortable about it. But I was proud of myself because like you have to speak up in these situations, and that's something that I learned. And like, I guess the time where I had to do it for the first time and be like, nah, like I'm not doing that. Like that's not what this character would wear. And they already fell short on like bringing me the stuff that we went to wardrobe with. Cause not to say the wardrobe team wasn't right. When I went to wardrobe the first time, they held it down. It was a great interaction. We knew what we were gonna go with, but you know, sometimes people, you might
sure.
feel that awkward energy that like I don't really know who you are, like.
Let me just put you in the stereotypical
Yeah.
category. Yeah.
So there,
Yeah.
I definitely felt like there's a lack of respect there, and that was something I had to deal with.
Yeah, I heard the realest thing one of my homies told me. He said passive aggression gets you nowhere. So if you're in that situation, you just said, okay, I guess I'll wear this. You'll be presented as such, right? I think that's interesting because a lot of times I didn't know personally. Like I heard the stories, but I didn't know that as actors you have complete autonomy of what you want to wear more times than not. Because I feel like as an actor, obviously your job is to act, to acknowledge what the director wants from you, to acknowledge the DOP, what type of shots and frames they want from you, that type of thing. But when it comes to dress rehearsals and the stylist and those things, you actually have a voice in those situations, right?
Yeah, you definitely have a voice, right? For sure. And all you want, because it's not anything complicated, but all you want is the respect to be there, even for your decisions or what you might feel comfortable in. You wanna feel heard, and you wanna feel like you matter in this because you're gonna book me for something like
you're not even
come on.
It's not even the character. It's not even you.
Yeah.
That's facts. You want to feel seen.
Yeah.
That's all that's a lot of what it comes down to, bro. Acting is letting your partner know they're seen. That's crazy, bro. So yeah, that's it's different. You mentioned earlier the new it's the TIFF next wave. That's something that's coming up for you.
Okay.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. True say, y'all probably the first to hear because the news hasn't come out.
Oh,
but it's coming out like later this month. But I don't know too much about it, to be honest. I just know that the short film that I was in got selected for it. And TIFF Next Wave is something that I've had my eyes on that for like since I kind of stepped into this space. So I'm like super happy to have the cast and writers and directors just be a part of and showcase this film because I just decided I've never worked on a student film before, but and the thing with being in the union too, sometimes you don't get the chance to do these things.
You're an actor, right?
Yeah,
okay,
I am.
Yeah.
But this was ready for luckily the student film was like accepting union.
Okay.
So to work on a student film, which is something that I kind of wanted to do. Like I want to do the independent films, right? Got the chance to do it with this one. And they held it down, and it was absolutely like a crew full of cultured people, and it's my like best experience being on set, to be honest, which is like is tough. Right? So I'm just grateful for like the whole team because they held it down, and it shows, bro. Like now we're in TIFF Next Wave, so it's like it just is a testament to what is possible, right?
Yeah, I think collaboration matters, but collaborating with the right people matters as well too.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like with student films, that's something that I've been recommended to do. Obviously, being a student myself, is to get in that, and I plan on that, of course. But there's a lot of difference between student films and professional budgeted productions, right? That actually have a budget they can work off of. So, what are some differences that you recognize between the student project here and working with Netflix series? You know what I mean? Because it's a lot, right?
Yeah, I think I almost feel like there's more care in the student film, right? When you're working within a budget, you feel that pressure that there's a budget.
Because
like,
every
there's
take
money
matters.
on the line.
Every shot matters, right?
Yeah. So just feeling that difference, it feels a little bit more. There's more love. There's more love around the set, especially if it's something that you are. Like that the team is inspired by, which obviously they're going to be if they're going to get together to make something. So that's why it was one of the best experiences for me because I felt that for the first time being on set, like the interactions that were there. And these were knowledgeable people in film, right? These were like, it's not like you're going to make a student film, you know what's going on, right? So just to be around that sort of energy with like-minded people that are in the same position as me, that's what I want. I want the industry, and I know it's gonna be like that. When people like me and you step into these roles, and that interaction that's there, like there's something there, and it hasn't been explored so much. So I just look forward to like seeing that kind of break open, cause it'll be felt. Yeah.
What are some tips that you would give to yourself 5 years ago, or to more up and coming creatives and actors stepping into that field? What are some tips you have for them?
Yeah.
Being where you are right now.
I would say just work on the craft, study the game. You know what I mean? This thing isn't given to you. Like, you do have to work for it. You have to put yourself in positions like, take the classes, you know what I mean? Some classes you might not even like, you know what I mean? But find that right place. Talk with the people that you do know, and figure out what's the right space to be in. And when you find that place, like, dive into it. And then, of course, you can do things on your own, like even down to watching film is like, that's homework time.
That's
like,
home. Yeah, because that's I wanted to ask you about that too, bro. Because like, with watching film, obviously before you were an actor, you watch film just because it was entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, you grab your popcorn, you grab your snacks, and you enjoy it.
For
but
sure.
Being in this space, you're seeing everything behind the scenes. You're seeing the details. You're seeing the different positions that people are playing, and the storylines, the beats, the objectives of these actors. How do you watch these films now, knowing what it takes to even create them?
Yeah. I feel like just saying to save the cat, you know what I mean? Any creators that are out there, read that book, right?
Save the cat.
Save the cat. So, and then what I really mean by that though is like understand there's structure to film. Like, not to say that there's rules. Like, once you understand the rules, that's when you can break them, right?
Yeah.
So, just to understand the architecture of a story, like, that's where everything comes into play. So, like, being an actor, understanding the objective of your actor, that comes to play when it comes to directing or writing a film. Like, these are things that you need to know, right? So, study the game is the biggest thing I could say for sure. Yeah.
That's amazing, bro.
Be your best in this, and things will play out for you.
Things will play out.
Yeah.
You might get a couple no's, but you know.
You will get a couple no's.
Yeah. That's what you will. Yeah. No, it's very rare. I was listening to an interview with Matthew McConaughey. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast. He's like an anomaly when it comes to these things. He said like his first 5 auditions he booked like bam.
Damn, really?
No's. So there's some rare instances, but
Yeah.
I completely agree with you, bro. Like you will get some no's. You will take some failures, and that's what a lot of times basketball help prepare you. I know it's gonna help prepare me as well too. So that's interesting. I'm glad. Yeah, it was interesting.
What brought you into like getting into the
acting?
acting space?
Bro, it's a funny story, but starting this platform here, like I was saying, it's all about storytelling and creativity. I've always felt like I had a voice, and I've always felt like I wanted to represent things that are more than just myself. And I felt like the best avenue for that was acting. Growing up, I was always a very like animated kid. I'd always like try to play like different roles and shit like that. Like I remember watching like obviously Dragon Ball Z and shit.
Okay.
I've never told anyone this. This is gonna be crazy. I'm saying this on my own platform, bro. But I used to take a taekwondo uniform.
Yeah.
Wear that shit and watch Dragon Ball Z because I feel like I'm in the film,
That's real.
in the movie, so in the show. But just things like that, I just felt like I was very animated, and I felt as I grew up, I kind of sheltered that. You know, like I was saying before, as men, we're taught to not really show emotion, to not really be creative, to not be animated in certain instances. So as I got older, I felt like I was kind of just sheltering that part of me, just because I thought it didn't look cool.
Yeah.
I was very subconscious of myself, and I know with acting, being self-conscious is one of the worst things you could be. Worrying about how someone else thinks of you is you're toast. You're literally toast. So that's something that I just said. I said, fuck it, bro. Like let me do some shit that is uncertain. I don't know if it'll work out or not. You know, I'm still in school for now, and I'm enjoying it. But again, I don't know if it's gonna work out. But I'm enjoying and loving the process. And I find most things that I love and enjoy, I do a good job at. But that's really where it all started. You know, just kind of acknowledging where my head was at, where my emotions were at, and how I felt about myself, and just saying, fuck it, let me just take this risk. That's something that I've learned in acting too, as well, is just, you have to get to a point where you literally just say, fuck it. I'm gonna perform and I'm gonna do this to the best of my ability and not care about what that cameraman or that second AD or that person behind helping second, like you just can't care and just do what you want to do, and just not being so self-conscious, because you know, I think for me especially, I've struggled with that growing up, being super self-conscious, and yeah, that's something I'm just trying to build off of, you know?
For sure,
So,
man. And yo, me and you both, like I'll tell you, like the reason why I never stepped into the acting space, like being a baller, I was a baller.
bro,
You see me on the theater,
come
like
on now, man. Bro, people would look at you like, what the fuck you doing, bro? Like,
right.
pick up a rock, bro.
But that's really a weakness and mindset of myself, to think that I have to be held by a certain standard, you know what I mean, and not step into these spaces. So I definitely held back because of how like peers might see me. But you get to that place where I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna do what I do. It's the best place you could be, man. Right?
And sometimes it just takes a little time.
Yeah.
Some more than others, but yeah, it just takes a little time. So
yeah.
Speaking on the creativity aspect of things, people know you a lot for being an artist as well. You know, you're a rapper, you're an artist in that sense. And how has that process been, bro? Because I've been tapping in with you for a couple years now, and I know you just released a project.
Yeah.
I fuck with the bonus track, and I think one track it was enough.
Enough on my mind.
There was a fourth one.
Third one.
Yeah, the third one.
Enough,
enough on my mind, bro. That shit.
Those are my favorite too.
Those
are my favorite.
I'm bumping that. So like speak about that process, bro. How's that been so far?
Man, I feel like the music has been the self-reflective part. You know what I mean? Acting is kind of is like an act of service. Like you're giving yourself up in like a different situation. The music is like kind of getting to yourself, getting to your points of views, and yeah, kind of just tapping into, not to say I just write from my perspective. I like to write from like I feel like there's just a thing about me where it's like just relating with people, right?
For sure.
So that's what it is, and that gives me a space to actually do that. And I love music, bro. Like my dad used to be a drummer. My mom can sing. So it's been good, man. And it's really the love of music that drives me to continue doing it, right? Like I do want to be on stage at a point in my career and be able to like put these lyrics to the test in front of people, right? But it's the love that drives it, man. And like, you know what I mean? It can go nowhere with it, and it's like I'm happy that I did it, right?
Yeah, I think that's with anything, bro. If you love it, results will show.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, bro, I honestly, this last project you come out with, probably your best one so far.
Appreciate that.
There's a sound to it that just, it's a little bit different. I felt like my type of sound, the things that I like listening to are, they're very sonic, they're very R&B-ish. They have I don't know the right word for it, bro. A lot of like Drake songs when he goes onto like the interlude, or like when it transitions to the end and he has like these, I don't know the right word, I don't know how to say it, but I felt like a lot of those two songs that I just mentioned had that kind of essence to it, where you were storytelling, but it was coming from a place that was here, but it just sounded good to me, because it's my type of sound. But
shout out Adrian on the beat, because he brought, like, you know, it's that production that kind of brings that out, which allows me to like, and that's what I like to experience. Like I want to make, like I'm a rapper, yes, I'm a songwriter though, like that's really how I feel about it, and it's like certain sounds will bring out certain emotions, and certain words come from that, so it's a feeling, bro, it's a feeling thing for sure.
Okay, how do you feel when people just call you a rapper, and be honest?
I'm fine with it because I could rap. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think a lot of times people have this negative connotation with just being called a rapper, or just being called this, because it puts you in a box. But you know, just throughout this whole conversation, you're obviously more than that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So with you, what's next?
What's next, man? I getting into the screenwriting heavy. That's what I've been spending a lot of time over, like just COVID break and not COVID break.
I say COVID break, bro. Holy shit. What's today's date? The 20th, bro? Bro, we've been on like 10 breaks so far, bro.
Yeah. But so like studying scripts, that understanding story to a deeper sense. Yeah. I do want to like step further into the industry, actually play the parts of bringing the authenticity of the people that we know and people that we're around and show that on screen. So I think from the place that I've been and the things that I've seen, like I prepared myself to like make reasonable like moves to like step into that and bring some solid stories. So
Yeah.
I want to continue screenwriting. I do like freelance directing as well. I've directed a lot of my music videos.
Shit,
even.
bro, we might have to talk, bro.
Yeah,
We got some
yeah.
projects coming up, bro. Yeah, but
Okay,
yeah.
for sure, man. Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, like it's all of that. It's the writing, directing, and music, man. Like you know what I mean. I feel like the last project that you're speaking on, it was absolutely a matured, more like leveled up version of myself, and it's not like it's digressed, right? So it's like I'm excited for whatever I'm ready to like make in the
Yeah.
future as well, and I'm creating too. So
At what point did you know you're a creator?
when I said I don't give a fuck, let me leave school.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was just saying this earlier off the pod. You, my guy AB, and my brother all had a similar story where you guys went to school. And maybe for the right reason, maybe for the wrong reason, but you might have felt like you had to go to school and realized this isn't for me. And you guys carved out your own path outside of that and are making a name for yourself. So how was that for you?
What, the leaving school
To
part?
just
or-
leave school? Because that's obviously school is known as something it's standard, it's set, rigid. People think it's guaranteed when really it isn't. But it's something to kind of make your parents happy.
Yeah.
So to go against that into a field that's so uncertain, how was that? It's different.
It was, man. It was a huge decision. Probably one of the bigger decisions of my life. But I'm happy that I had the support of my parents. I think deep down they knew that it could be something that could be for me too, which gave them ease. But they would have been disappointed if I didn't like put 10 toes. But I'm that sort of person that's like, if I'm gonna put something into it, I'm gonna put everything into it, right? So, bro, it's scary too, right? Like,
yeah, facts.
you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
know I'm gonna look like the crazy person. Like, I know what it's gonna be. But like when you get to that point of like not caring, like that's really what matters most, bro.
Dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous, bro. It's dangerous.
I think if what you're pursuing doesn't scare you, something's wrong. You know what I mean? I think what you're chasing isn't big enough. And I know that's a little cliche quote, but you have to have some sense of uncertainty or some sense of fear when you're chasing something, because then it requires you to believe. Then it requires you to have confidence in what you're doing, and that's really the difference between those that are great and those that don't make it, I feel like, at least. But but yeah, man, honestly, I'm glad we can have this conversation, bro. This is long overdue.
100, man.
You know what I mean? It's been years, bro. When's the last time I saw you, bro?
Bro, we're definitely like,
It was a trill balance.
like
Was it
teenagers,
trill?
bro.
Yo, that's crazy, man. I still remember that George Brown tournament, bro. You were playing Brampton.
George Brown.
Brampton Warriors. Me,
Okay.
you. I don't want to name drop now, but we had Chase there too.
Yeah.
A couple other guys, but that's probably the last.
Oh,
you
yes.
remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Summertime.
Yeah.
Summertime, but
Yeah.
yeah, bro. Again, it's just I'm glad we could reconnect like this. You know, share some stories, because this is really what this is all about, bro. Just having a platform to share experiences and just to kind of level with each other, man. Because like I was saying before, I think we're just too divisive right now as a society. So it's good to have other creators like yourself. And again, before we wrap this up, any last words or?
Bro, I wanna like say congratulations to you for the things that you're doing with this program, Gifted Gab. Like, I pay attention to this. I see like what you got going on, and it's huge to see the commitment that you put to it. And just the talk. It's good talk. So commend you, and like, bro, let's stay connected. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what it is. So, like, again, thanks for having me. Appreciate you, brother.
Likewise. Hopefully we'll be on set somewhere working together, man.
Real
It's
talk.
that goal, bro. So
Real talk.
appreciate you, dog.
Yes, sir.
Okay. On that note, we out.